My name is Emma, and I'm a 62-year-old housewife. I've been married to my husband Noah for nearly 30 years, and our son Liam is now 28 and happily married to Olivia. With Liam settled and my husband retiring soon, I'm reflecting on the past and the future. Despite our disagreements, Noah and I have persevered. As we approach this new chapter, planning for Noah's retirement, I couldn't help but consider our journey together. However, Noah surprised me during a meal by expressing his desire for a divorce. His words pierced through, indicating his wish to end our marriage. His unexpected request left me reeling, questioning if my hearing had failed me. It was a startling moment, one that I hadn't anticipated. Noah's desire for divorce contrasts sharply with my reflections on our shared history. This revelation has left me pondering the complexities of our relationship and the path ahead. I was completely caught off guard by Noah's words. "Wait, what do you mean? Are you asking for a divorce out of the blue?" His response was firm. "It's not sudden. I've been thinking about it for a while. I want to leave you before I retire." I couldn't comprehend his reasoning. "Why? What do you mean you're tired of me?" I pleaded for an explanation, but he shut me down, saying I'd always bothered him. As I tried to process this bombshell, Noah's tone turned harsh. "I'm retiring in 3 months. Pack your things and leave before then." I was in shock, unable to grasp the suddenness of it all. Despite my desperate attempts to reason with him, Noah was resolute. He even handed me divorce papers he had prepared without my knowledge, revealing his deep-seated resentment. His words were like a dagger to my heart. I had envisioned growing old with him, but in an instant, everything changed. Noah's cruel words shattered my world. "I don't love you anymore. I can't stand living with someone so messy and disorganized." The pain and disbelief were overwhelming. "Is this more in line with what you were looking for?" So that's how he felt. I had also lost the romantic spark for Noah, but I still loved him. After spending so many years together, how could he say something so cruel? I had been a housewife since we got married, and without Noah, I had no means of survival. I felt trapped, unable to leave. Noah showed no concern for my well-being. After completing his part of the divorce papers, he simply left them in front of me and walked away. He had never been the most attentive husband, neglecting chores and kind words. However, at our age, it wasn't uncommon. He used to promise to take care of me and our home once he retired. We had plans for our retirement, like traveling together, but now he was asking for a divorce. I felt abandoned and lost in the darkness. After some time, I found my resolve. I was angry with Noah for his selfishness. If we were to divorce, I wanted to discuss it thoroughly and proceed with dignity. I needed answers. Noah didn't come home that day, leaving me sleepless and anxious. When he returned on Saturday morning, I tried to talk, but he brushed me off, claiming he was tired and needed sleep. This behavior wasn't new. We'd had our disagreements before, but this felt different, unjustified. After he finally woke up in the late afternoon, we sat down for dinner, our first chance to talk. I couldn't accept his sudden desire for a divorce, citing fatigue and lack of love as reasons. That sounded like something young couples would say. I wanted to understand the real reason behind his decision. Noah's response was shocking and hurtful. "I don't want to be with a spotted, wrinkled old bat like you anymore." I was taken aback, hurt by his callous words. He continued, claiming he had put up with my appearance because he was a gentleman, but he had reached his limit. His words cut deep, leaving me reeling with a mix of anger and sadness. I needed a more valid explanation for his sudden change of heart. Noah's hurtful words continued whenever I tried to speak with him. He dismissed me, saying abusive things and demanding that I leave quickly. I couldn't make sense of it all. How could I decide on divorce or leaving the house without a valid reason from him? I had tolerated Noah's behavior as a husband because I was his wife, but if he was going to treat me like a stranger, I couldn't endure his arrogance. When I refused to back down, Noah abruptly ended the conversation, lying down on the sofa to watch TV. I tried to continue the discussion, but he cut me off, insisting that I pack my bags and leave. From then on, he ignored me, walking away when I approached and refusing to eat the meals I prepared. Instead, he opted for convenience store or restaurant food. Despite my efforts to talk and accommodate him, he remained distant and dismissive. Noah's attitude towards me had become distant and cold. He would come home from work, sigh, and then act as though I didn't exist for the rest of the day. I wondered if there was any way to mend our relationship and overcome this crisis. While grappling with these thoughts, I received a call from my son Liam. He wanted to celebrate my birthday with Olivia and suggested going out for sushi with the 4 of us, including his father. His unexpected call moved me to tears, breaking the tension I had been feeling. Liam was taken aback by my sudden outburst. Concerned, he asked what had happened. I told him about his father's request for a divorce and how he was now ignoring me. Lion was shocked and angry. He insisted on coming over to talk to his dad. That night, Liam arrived at our house and confronted Noah, demanding to know what was going on. His intervention brought a glimmer of hope that perhaps we could resolve the situation and find a way forward as a family. Noah was taken aback by Liam's sudden visit. "What's going on? Why are you here all of a sudden?" Liam, however, was firm. "I've heard everything from Mom. Why do you want a divorce? None of us can understand your reasons." Noah's gaze turned to me, realizing I had told Liam. "You told him? You're a coward, you know that." I retorted, "We haven't talked face to face in ages because you've been ignoring me." Liam intervened, urging Noah to take the time to talk and find a resolution. Reluctantly, Noah sat down to face me but remained stubbornly silent about his reasons. Frustrated, I grew angry at his refusal to communicate, especially in front of Liam. "You don't even care about our family anymore. Remember when we used to travel together when Liam was a child?" I attempted to evoke memories of happier times by showing Noah our family album. I hoped it would remind him of the love and joy we once shared. However, Noah abruptly put away the album, declaring, "Enough. I won't change my mind. I will divorce you. I don't care if I never see Liam again." His words were devastating. I realized then that I couldn't have a meaningful conversation with him anymore. Noah's determination to end our marriage, despite our history and family memories, left me feeling hopeless and unsure of how to proceed. "Fine, let's separate for now," I suggested, hoping to avoid an immediate divorce. However, Noah insisted on divorce right away, claiming he deserved half of the retirement payment. Liam intervened, arguing that Noah's request was selfish, and Noah reluctantly agreed to separate instead. It seemed he believed I wouldn't sign the divorce papers unless he agreed to the separation. Liam invited me to stay with him and Olivia, knowing Noah had never done chores and wouldn't be able to live alone. He believed that living separately would make Noah appreciate me more. I thanked Liam for his support and left home with him. Living with Liam and Olivia was a stark contrast to my life with Noah. Their kindness and understanding made me feel peaceful and happy, a welcome change from the turmoil I had experienced with Noah. Liam asked me why I had been reluctant to divorce, sensing there were other reasons behind Noah's behavior. I decided to investigate further. I realized I needed money for the investigation, so I started working again. Despite Liam's offer to fund the investigation, I didn't want to burden him due to his parents' selfishness. I also felt it would be better to have a proper job even if we divorced, especially since Noah had been treating me like I didn't exist. I began thinking about my life after he left me. I had a bookkeeping license from my youth and searched for a job that would hire me, even part-time. Luckily, I found a company that valued my 12 years of experience in the industry and hired me. With a job secured, I now focused on investigating Noah and finding a place to live alone. When Liam and Olivia heard about my divorce, they both offered to live with me. They even suggested I stay home with them, as Olivia revealed she was pregnant. I was overjoyed to learn I was going to be a grandmother and was touched by their offer. I was determined to end things with Noah quickly. I hired a detective agency for the investigation, and surprisingly, I received the results within a week. Although I was initially concerned about the speed of the investigation, the evidence of Noah's infidelity was undeniable. Noah's affair became apparent when he spent a night at a hotel with a young woman, signaling that the separation had made him drop his facade. Armed with evidence, I confronted him. His initial surprise turned into acceptance as he handed me the divorce papers with a smile. However, he declared that he wouldn't give me half of his retirement payment, implying he intended to give it to his new partner. I calmly revealed the evidence of his affair, showing him a photo. Noah was momentarily taken aback but quickly turned defensive, admitting to the affair and his intentions to leave me for the other woman. Despite his hurtful words, I remained composed, telling him I knew he would regret his decisions. Noah's lack of remorse saddened me. He seemed oblivious to the pain he had caused. As I began filling out the divorce papers, I couldn't help but feel sorry for him, realizing he was truly a lost soul. After finalizing my divorce from Noah, I began my revenge. I demanded half of his retirement allowance and alimony as a division of property through my lawyer. I also sent a certified letter to his workplace, impacting his reputation among colleagues. His retirement celebration, which should have been joyful, turned somber due to his coworkers' cold treatment. Noah had adamantly refused to give me the retirement payment, but when I threatened legal action, he relented and paid me in a lump sum. However, his troubles were far from over. Months later, Liam informed me that Noah had tried to remarry his affair partner, only to have her run away just before the wedding. She then demanded money from him to fulfill her dream of opening a restaurant. Noah planned to use his retirement payment to fund her dream, but the urgency of the situation led him to borrow money for the initial payment. When he finally received his retirement payment, he tried to withdraw the money to pay off the debt, only to discover that his retirement payment had been withdrawn and was missing. Noah's actions had finally caught up with him, and he was left in a precarious financial situation. His attempt to start anew with his affair partner had backfired, leaving him in debt and without his retirement savings. Despite the pain he caused me, I couldn't help but feel a tinge of pity for the man who had once been my husband. The sign for the tenant Noah's affair partner was attempting to rent still hangs, indicating that Noah was completely scammed. Despite notifying and consulting with the police, the scammer remains at large. It's unfortunate, but ultimately Noah's affair led to his downfall, so I feel no sympathy for him. I will focus on my job and cherish my time with my son, his wife, and my future grandchildren. Their presence brings me immense joy. If Noah had been faithful, he could have retired comfortably and enjoyed all his retirement benefits. However, his foolish actions led to this outcome. I believe it's better to be surrounded by a loving family than to spend life with a deceitful husband. Noah's betrayal has made me appreciate my family even more, and I will continue to cherish and prioritize them in my life.